Well, good evening, everyone. So I'm gonna start on the resolutions packet, and of course, this is the resolutions packet for the Summer 2025 meeting of the Idaho Republican Party. These state central committee meetings, they are usually every 6 months, even technically during the convention. And this meeting isn't a convention, even though some people call it that. It's not a convention, yada yada yada. But anyway, every time there's a rules packet and there's a resolutions packet. Resolutions packet always takes longer to get through, at least for reviewing it. Recently, a new resolutions chairman has been put in. His name's Scott Herndon. Good dude, obviously. And he's been taking care of business pretty dang well, to the point where it's almost taken care of faster than the rules committee, like almost. And yeah, anyway, so some of these resolutions looked familiar. I did peruse a little bit, I did briefly look through them just to see how much time this is going to take. And that takes me to my next point. Hey Siri, start a timer for 40 minutes.
40 minutes starting now.
So that,
40 minutes starting now.
my phone did it too. Uh-oh. Well, we're going to find out, because I'm not reaching behind me to fix it. Anyway, let's just get started with that then. Here we are. The packet has dropped. And without really a whole lot of actual drama this time, which is good. A lot of the same as before. And Vice Chair Bjorn, that is Bjorn right there. We need a, and like I was joking on social media, we need to bring back his idea from the 2018 convention in Pocatello, where it was one night in Bannock, because anyway, long story. Pocatello's in Bannock County. To parody the song "One Night in Bangkok," I actually happen to like that song a lot because of well, I'll just say it was a friend I knew in college. Anyway, lot of familiar names. Oh, Greg and Thad are on this one. Good. Oh, that's cool. Cool. Alright, so I'm already burning my 40 minutes here. Some of this looks interesting. Move to simple majority. Oh, I think I was clued into what that is. But we'll find out in March. Oh, we're going to start this fight again. Yay. Hearing... Oh. Is this the Brandon Herrera thing? Or over there. Is this the Brandon Herrera thing? If that is, it may be redundant, but we'll cross that bridge, but redundant in a good way. For high needs student fund, tobacco taxation, defining a delegates to a, the kids are starting the Article 5 crap again. And no, I don't mean Article 5 of the state rules. Arrangements for retention election. Oh, that's interesting. Because judicial retention is a little bit of an issue right now, and I don't mean, oh, we need to be retaining judges. No, quite the opposite. In fact, there are some bad ones. So out of state funding for ballot initiative. Ooh, spicy. From adult students. Oh, okay. Gender ID. Ooh. Okay, you know what? Resolution to preserve and protect and oppose all calls of. Ooh. So fight. No, just kidding. We're all Republicans to each other, or at least supposed to be. McLean Act. Oh, I know who wrote. I know who that came from. I see you, Lynn. I see you. Okay. Oh, weather modification again. Whatever. Party integrity and accountability. I wonder what that is. So that's either really good or really bad, depending on how somebody twisted the phrase. Well, anyway, let's start. There are. See, it starts with 20 and ends with 52, so it's good 32. I forgot to start my notes again. So I have my notes on a second monitor over here, the second monitor being a nice TV. But let's see, rules, see that. So it starts with 21 because I'm just burning time now. Interesting things happen when you start putting in time limits. And let's see, how far are we in the video? It's 6:20 already. 6:20. All right, I think it was the Dar Moon one that okay. Yep, out from good old Custer County. Need to find an excuse to get out that direction at some point. It's good country out there. For all candidates, whereas the Idaho Republican Party is committed to ensuring fair, democratic, and Dar, we have had this discussion. Democratic. And no, I don't mean this is supporting the Democrat Party. No, just democratic in of itself is not necessarily what this country does. We are a Republican form of government. Anyway, anyway, well, no, I'm not gonna start that fight. I'm not gonna start that. I'm not gonna do it. Representative for all its members, currently plurality voting in primary elections, allow candidate to win with less than. Yeah, this is the thing I was talking about. I was sitting across the round table from you, Dar. Yeah, I remember this one. And the thing is, you're not wrong. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're leaving to a nominee who does not represent the. I've tried to fix this problem myself with a certain. I'll say it. It's a little bit of an embarrassing incident. It definitely didn't work. I should have known it wouldn't work, but you know, whatever. I was at least trying, and so is Dar here. Simple majority system would require a candidate to. Well, you won't get 50 because my version was with 40, and people still had a very big problem with that, but I'd rather people try than not, so, yeah. Adoption of the simple majority system. That's technology. Okay. Numerous. Okay, the eye is bounding pretty to ensure that runoff elections. Oh, so he literally just wants it to be a runoff election handled by the state government. Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. Printing technologies. Therefore, they will support a simple majority voting for all future primary elections that no candidate receives. Will be turned 90. Will work with the state legislature. Oh, he didn't. He doesn't even say exactly how to fix it. He just says. He just makes a reference to a runoff. And Resolutions Committee is going to eat him alive. I kind of don't want to see that happen, but you know. He's the one trying. I am not the one who is trying. So he gets the credit there. So anyway. So 2025-20. I don't think this will pass from previous experience, but given that this is a huge problem and nobody he is giving an honest attempt to fix the problem, I will passively agree. I don't think. So yeah, my honest reaction to. Here, you know what? I'll just. I will passively agree. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying right here. I don't think this will pass from previous experience, but given that this is a huge problem and nobody is giving an honest attempt to fix the problem, I will passively agree. That's what I'm saying for 2025-20. So, next one, 2025-34. I need to put like a little tiny desk light on here because typing in the dark is just 25-21. Oh, these are not in order. Oh wait. They're like skipping and whatnot? Ah, crap. Okay, well, so I guess that's a lot fewer resolutions. That's kind of good and bad in different ways. So this is 2025-34. Also means I'll have to give this a lot more attention. We are at 12:02 in the. Let's see. All right, now. 34. Jeez. So resolution to simple majority for primary elections. No, we just looked at that. Resolution to restore the presidential primary in March. Okay. Take a deep breath. Whereas the Senate historically had a primary in March to determine the Republican. Historically is not the argument you think you're making here, but I'll continue. Whereas in 2020, the unintentional. This word right here is misleading. On the screen, it's like down. Where's the monitor? That word is misleading. That word is misleading. It's down there. You know, unintentionally eliminated the president by passing House. Yeah, that's misleading. It's not exactly it went down. See, the thing is that people were warned. And, like, I think it was even a certain county commissioner who was in the room when it was put forward. I'm not necessarily gonna say his name. Rodbeck. That was, even warned them. Still sailed through the legislature. So unintentionally eliminated. Yeah, that's basically saying that the Idaho legislature was asleep on the job. If that's literally your honest take on it. You sure you want to be going there, Mr. Schoenberg? Come on. Anyway, whereas March presidential offers a more inclusive and accessible. Okay, is this person a Republican? It's allegedly a county committeeman or. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Committee man, committee woman. Okay, so he's one of the county committee officers. Okay, for to participate in the presidential for allowing them directly in the selection of president, regardless of their ability to attend. Oh, he's trying to take a shot at somebody. Don't miss. If that's what you're going to do, Dan, don't miss. Whereas conducting a party caucus offers, okay, this is a bunch of slop. Yeah, Presidential primary aligns with the values of representative democracy. Well, we are not in a democracy, we're in a republic, and you should know that by now. By everybody, equal opportunity. Yeah, that's a bit of a bent way of looking at it, a bent way of comparing it. The need to remove to a caucus system has led to a significant. Oh, now you're trying to pretend like you weren't just taking a shot at Dorothy Moon. Yeah, screw you. Restoring a president is only cost effective. I'm going to press X to doubt on that one. Okay, efficient method. I would not say efficient. The previous primary system was not exactly the most efficient for the presidential primary. I mean, come on. I think you're talking it up a little bit too much. When you take a shot like that, don't miss, and looks like you're missing. Okay. Across the state. Well, you're not wrong there, but you know what? If it is a thing that the Republican Party should be doing, then it shouldn't necessarily need the state to do it for them. Just saying. I mean, I'll admit the March presidential primary is a lot more convenient, personally, but I am often a very lazy person, and so you shouldn't necessarily take my advice on such things. Therefore, be it resolved that the Outer Republican hereby urges the. You should have saved this for winter. Because it looks like you're trying to advocate for a certain legislative action. And that is not exactly the best thing to be doing in the summer. You need to be doing that in winter for like a whole host of reasons. The recommends that the takes proper funding to disagree on the details and in principle. Disagree on details and principle. Also, someone please tell. Make sure I have his name spelled right. Dan Schoenberg. Okay, so my full reaction to 2025-34 is disagree on details and principle. Also, somebody please tell Dan Schoenberg that we live in a republic, not a democracy. And I'm moving on. Let's see, 2025-35. 35. And we are when in the. Actually, I should move the window so I could at least see. Okay, I can now see it without having to necessarily move around the thing. 2025-35, and we're at 1911 on there. I'll have some gun people in the comments saying, you know, which one is better, a 1911 or a Glock, but yeah. Anyway. So, 2025-35 Hearing Safety Protection Act. Becky Loomis out of Latah County. Whereas it's been medical people who are exposed to loud noises should wear hearing protection. It is also medically proven for this reason, OSHA, yada yada. Frank Larkin, former Navy SEAL who committed suicide, donated his son's body for research. Numerous efforts show to identify the changes of the brain who are involved in explosions. Although, okay, you shouldn't have like multiple sentences in a whereas clause, because that's kind of not what a resolution is. It's supposed to be one really long sentence. But whatever. Okay, fine. While the results are identified and the detected new MRI technology, it's recommended that even repeated low-level shots of weapon getting impacted by cumulative injuries. Okay. Whereas it reported that I was the largest national gun. See, again, the multiple sentences thing. Not good writing. So, whereas the press release of my Crapo and HPA, okay, well, I'm not so sure if it's a good thing that Crapo is, well, but Rish I'm less apprehensive about, but still, supports the hearing and okay. You know what? I'll say cautiously agree. Okay, and I will fix the spelling on that later. So, oh, okay, you know what? This is actually getting ridiculous. 2025 dash, what's the next one? 2025-36, 2025 36. And where are we in the video? 2152. 2152. And what is this 2025-36? Resolution to support the Idaho High Needs Student Fund. Todd Thomas out of Franklin County. Why do I remember? Oh, yeah, I think it was one of the clueless resolutions that came out of the last round. I think that's what it was. That's why I remember his name. Franklin County Republicans, yeah, okay. You get out there to that part of the state. It's nice out there. Anyway, whereas there currently exists $80 million gap in funding for certain category of students in the budget during the HPN was interested in partly addressing the. This is not okay. Multiple sentences in a whereas clause. Not cool. Also, what's this full stop doing there? Do none of these people have a proofreader? Anyway, this is not an increase, but a reallocation of some other money. HB failed to pass by a single vote, thereby failing to address for high needs students. Whereas we believe the minimum. We believe in financial conservatism and. Okay, you shouldn't have used this. This right here. Should not have used that. You could have used some other phrase that Republicans would support and you'd be fine. But we believe in fiscal conservatism, and yet you're asking for an increase in funding of something. Not the smartest play to move. I mean, come on. Require both funds to appropriate or for all. Okay, this right here. It's the same reasoning why we had why the federal government started the Department of Education. How well are we doing with that? This is not a good argument to make for what you want here. Therefore, let it be resolved. Again, wording that the Idaho Republican State Central Committee supports the establishment of high needs line item. I don't disagree, but I'm going to want to hear more. In fact, that's what I'm going to write. I don't disagree, but I want to hear more before agreeing. That, in fact, that's my entire review of it. It's, I don't disagree, but I want to hear more before agreeing. Okay, so Next one is 2025-37. As soon as I can press the right keys on the keyboard. So it's Martin Shaw. Okay. I think I talked to this guy on the phone. Yeah, when I was volunteering there in the state party headquarters, they everybody else had to leave for a little while. I think it was a bank thing or something. I don't know. I don't care. And I was put on the phones again, and I talked with this guy for a while. Yeah, he sounded okay. I think he was asking about the Yeah, he was asking about the hotels and whatnot, motels and whatnot in the area, and I had literally just the previous night also got my room at the Super 8, so I told him about that. Yeah, okay, I remember this guy. I remember this guy now. He's okay. So 2025-37 resolution on tobacco taxation in the state of Idaho. Well, let's see where this could either be really good or really bad. It could be neither. Whereas the Idaho Republican Party stands for limited government, individual liberty, and the promotion of free market principles that empower Idahoans to make their own without undue interference or excessive taxation. You're not wrong, but that kind of phrasing has been used to support some extremely un-Republican things, so let's see where you're going. The current Idaho tobacco imposes a burdensome 40% rate on wholesale sales price of pipe tobacco and other, which are capped at a maximum. Proposals to expand taxes threaten further encroach upon individual choice. Oh, you're going this direction. Regular consumers of tobacco products can evade by purchasing online from out-of-state sources with lax enforcement. Well, yada yada yada. That's not the argument you think you're making there, but okay. You're basically advocating for more government control if you're saying it that way, but okay. Idaho's tobacco taxes impose a due burden on tobacco who face complex and time-consuming tax reporting obligations. Yada yada yada. Well, that's an argument for people to stop selling tobacco at all. Are you sure you want to go there? Just saying. Excessive taxation on tobacco and related product drives yada 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 yada. I am unconvinced. Therefore, be it resolved that the state to prioritize tax policies that respect individual liberty. Okay. You might have gotten away. You might have gotten away with doing this had you not used the word liberty there. Because now that you did, I'm going to mention one of my favorite activities when I'm in certain political situations, because, not all of my friends are all hardcore Republicans. Some of my friends are Democrats, some of mine are constitutionalists, some are even libertarians. Now, when I'm in gatherings of libertarians that are, gatherings for one reason or another, I phrase this as throwing the grenade down the hall, as it were. Because libertarians love saying taxation is theft. But if you can get them arguing about that, it's like it's like they just sort of snake eating the tail thing, and they just start attacking each other. So I just get one of them to start agreeing with taxation isn't theft, it's extortion, and then they and they start they start fighting each other. So anyway, why did I bring that up? Well, it's basically if you're going about the tack of doing the whole respecting individual liberty thing, well, advocating for the removal of only a certain tax versus other tax, you're going to have to rationalize that first. You definitely didn't do that because we are now in the resolved clauses. Shouldn't have done that. So it's I've calls for complete elimination of all taxes, including the second pipe tobacco. I'm unconvinced. I'm just gonna say that. I'm unconvinced. So we are at 30 minutes and 8 seconds, so 30:08. I remain unconvinced. I remain unconvinced. Okay, so what's the next one? 2025-38 down there. 2025-38. And where are... Oh. 30:08 is... so that's, well, just 31. I didn't actually get the timestamp for 2025-37. It looks like didn't catch it. Okay, so that 3106. Okay, 2025-38, a resolution defining delegates to ratifications. Uh-oh, we're starting this fight. Now, there's a certain question I've been asking for years about the Article 5 convention stuff. Somebody got close to answering it, but this person was very much against Article 5 and said the reason why, accidentally, I think, why that question could not be answered truthfully. And it's not like anybody, well, this is, and the premise of it is assuming everybody's being honest, by the way. But I wonder if we'll brush past it, finally. So a pro-Article 5 measure finally addressing it. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, although I think I've mentioned it before at least a couple of times on the channel. Either way, resolution defining the delegates, Colton Ben. Oh, Colton, what are you doing? I like you, man. What are you doing? Anyway, Latah County, dozens of states have submitted applications to the unit to seek on the provisions. Well, this is not a completely accurate statement because, one, some have withdrawn, and also not all of these states have submitted applications for the same reasons or compatible reasons. This is not good here, dude. What are you doing? Article 5 of the Convention specifies that Congress shall provide for the method of ratification of any proposed constitution either by legislature or... Well, this is true, but not the whole story. I hope you're going somewhere with that. Congress has strategically used its power to control the adoption. Well, that's true. There was a certain bit of homework that was supposed to have been done by now. It was expected by the founding fathers. That homework was never done either. And there's a whole argument about that, about whether that was deliberately done or it's just we never got around to it kind of thing. But anyway, either way, it's a bit weird to say it like that when Congress is specifically written into that process. Anyway, also, do you really want to be the reason why the Constitution hangs by a thread? We're about to get the white horse prophecy here, if this keeps going like this. Anyway, why Idaho law currently specifies that mass statewide election of 21 without a partisan label would constitute such a convention. Okay, whatever. I'm trying not to be mean about it, but there's a very mean thing I could have said about that, but I'm not going to do it. Whereas the system has hastily adopted in 1930 and has not been tried, revisited, or reformed since that date. Not wrong. In fact, that fact is always brought up on both sides of the issue. People of Idaho entrust their elected representatives with the sacred duty to protect and preserve our Constitution. Okay. I hope you're going somewhere. States such as have sought to preserve their rights and interests by convention by consisting solely of their state legislature. Okay, where are you going? Therefore, be it resolved that the Idaho Republican Party calls upon the Idaho legislature and the governor to repeal the substance of the Idaho Constitution Convention Act as it relates to delegate selection and elect. Ooh, one of my favorite phrases. But that's for partisan conventions. To an act containing the following position: that the delegates to the state ratification as defined in Article of the NC shall consist solely of the entire membership of the Idaho House of Representatives and the Idaho Senate, as well as the Constitution of. Is this a reversal of the what was it, 17th Amendment? Anyway, that the people of the state of Idaho shall, in their election of have entrusted them with confidence. There are certain jokers I absolutely wouldn't trust this for in the state house, but whatever. Therefore, be it resolved that a copy of this resolution well, I respect that you're trying to fix a problem, but this will encourage another Article 5 con-con, and I'm not cool with that. In fact, that's what I'm going to say. I respect that the I'm going to assume a single author here. I respect that the author is trying to fix a problem here, but given that the passage of this resolution will encourage an Article 5 con, I cannot in good conscience support this resolution. Hard no. Okay, so just to read it off here on the screen that's over here. I respect that the author is trying to fix a problem here, but given that the passage of this resolution will encourage an Article 5 con, I cannot in good conscience support this resolution. Hard no. Well, okay, let's see what the next resolution is. Resolution 2025-39, 2025-39, and where are we at? 3811, 38. All right. Now, what are we at? 2025-39 is another Colton Bennett resolution. Okay. The resolution raising the threshold for judicial. Oh, okay. This is one of the ones I got really interested in. You just reading the table of contents. Submitted by Colton Bennett, Latah County. By Colton County. Whereas judicial elections and the selection of just judges is incredibly important to the preservation of our republic. Thank you for referring to it by its proper type. The right interpretation of the Constitution, the protection of our rights, and the swift and proper execution of justice in our land. Okay. Turnout in judicial is often low. So it's relatively low. You're not wrong there. Whereas Idaho only identifies the 50% plus one margin for the percentages of judges, while others have raised this threshold. I didn't know that. Interesting. So Illinois of all states. Interesting. Whereas voters have a right to better education in judicial elections, and judges have the need to be held to the highest standards of accountability. You are not wrong, and we are having some accountability issues with the judicial branch in Idaho. We are absolutely having problems with that. So, Okay, I feel like you're buttering me up for something. Let's see what's going on here. Judges who have lost the confidence of vast portion of their constituency are a liability to both. Oh snap! That's a bit spicy. You're not wrong. You're playing with fire there a little bit, but you know what? That's gotta call a spade a lot of the time. Therefore, be it resolved that the Idaho Republican State Senate calls upon the judges to amend Idaho Code blah 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 to raise the threshold of retention of judges for a majority of 60%. Okay. You're asking for some rather specific action, and you have a lot of good reason for it. So okay. Be it further resolved that the Idaho Republican Party calls upon the Idaho Legislature to amend yada yada for the whoa. Screen freaked out on me for a moment there. For the add statements against add statements for and against retention to the ballot for retention of provided by the judge in question. If applicable, statement against by drafted and agreed upon by opponents. Okay, this would be hard to organize, and do it equitably. I hope you have a better plan on explaining that in committee, and also be prepared to defend that in the State House should this get that far. I want this to succeed. That's why I'm. I had to criticize it like that, so sharply, because you need to figure that out and agreed upon by. This isn't just like some sort of a little contest or something in a local committee somewhere. In some. My timer has gone off. So this will be the last one for now. Now, I'll explain what I'm going to do here in a moment, but I'm going to finish my comments on this. If applicable, statement. This isn't just some small committee, small partisan committees in some corner of the state. You're talking about an opposition to something that might not be completely definable, for one. And for another, persons A, B, C, and D might all be opposed to a judge being retained. That would be fair. However, all reasons A, B, C, and D might not all be coherent, and they might all be completely divergent from one another. That will definitely be a hang-up with this. And if that's a hang-up with this, then by default the judge just sort of gets in. It's either that or somebody's viewpoint gets massively misrepresented to the voter, and that's bad. So have a good answer for being asked about that, because somebody's going to try to tear this down, and they're going to be a lot less friendly about it. So anyway, I say I want this to succeed, and I am convinced of both the problem and most of the solution. However, comma, the against retention language lacks specificity to be effective. I hope the author has a good explanation for this in Okay, so my full response to that before I close this video out is I want this to succeed. I am convinced of both the problem and most of the solution. However, the against retention language lacks specificity to be effective. I hope the author had a good I need to make sure I have has in there. Has a good explanation for this in committee. Okay, so I'm going to transition. All right, so what I'm going to be doing here is for as long as I feel I can stay awake, I am going to be doing this at 40 minutes at a time. And that might not be a whole lot since the scroll bar looks like about a third of the way through, so it might be 2 or 3 more videos, maybe. I don't know yet. But 40 minutes is going to be the 40 minutes, so I'm going to do some clicky-clacky things and then start recording on the next video. So this is part 1 for now, and next one will be part 2. I don't know how many yet. We'll find out together. But for now, see you on the other side. Blessings.